Damn little bitch. She actually perfectly obtained the power of the 9 mystical vermilion flame. And that damned 9 mystical flame master, who caused so many of our extraterritorial evil clan's strong warriors to go after and besiege him, yet failed to completely annihilate him. Instead, a trace of his reincarnation mark was left behind in the Gu clan. If that little bitch manages to revive him using this mark, not only will the world gain a new reincarnation-level powerhouse, but even the 9 mystical flame master will be reborn. That would be a disaster. A chilling expression appeared on the face of Serpent Scorpion Xun'er as she mentioned the 9 mystical flame master, her body trembling slightly. Even the demon emperor, who once ruled the monster realm, was no match for his power, let alone with the blessing of the sacred flame. His strength was even more terrifying. Back then, to eliminate the powerful reincarnation-level warriors in the Great Thousand Worlds, the extraterritorial evil clan mobilized nearly 90% of their forces. They wiped out most of these reincarnation-level powerhouses to prepare for the final assault. However, a small number of them managed to annihilate the army sent by the evil clan. Though they were severely wounded and fell into the reincarnation sea, their power spread throughout the Great Thousand Worlds. Once awakened by a destined individual, their reincarnation marks would allow the person to fully comprehend the reincarnation arts, and the 2 reincarnations would rise again. Of these 2 reincarnations, one was the original master who had fallen into the reincarnation cycle, and the other was their disciple who inherited their legacy. In the Great Thousand Worlds, there was a mysterious river hanging in the skies, known as the Reincarnation Sea. Many powerful reincarnation-level warriors rested there. These warriors had contributed great feats to the world, but were forced to enter the Reincarnation Sea when their lives ended. Though they slumbered in the Reincarnation Sea, their legacy and power were scattered throughout the world in the form of reincarnation marks. Once these marks were perfectly understood, it would signal their revival from the Reincarnation Sea. Thus, the origins of the Reincarnation Sea and reincarnation marks were born. Drip, drip. After a moment, the tremors at the top of the mountain subsided, and a series of clear, crisp sounds echoed through the air. Roar. In the blink of an eye, the golden cocoon in front of them slowly merged. Countless golden liquids, like nectar, poured into Xun'er's skin, making her pale yet rosy complexion look as delicate as ice and snow. Xun'er, looking at the beloved figure before him, Xiao Yan's eyes shimmered with rare tears. Reuniting after so long, with emotions of longing and affection rushing to his heart, the once unshakable Xiao Yan felt a moment of tenderness like never before. Xiao Yan Gij. A sweet, melodious voice that hadn't been heard in decades quietly rang in Xiao Yan's ears. In the next moment, a soft figure like a mollusk, unable to contain the longing in her heart, jumped into Xiao Yan's arms. Her appearance no longer resembled the imposing holy maiden of the Gu clan. Instead, she looked like a beautiful girl who had fallen in love. Content, happy, and even a bit of old affection filled Xun'er's heart. The two stood there, saying nothing, but their eyes met, and countless unspoken words were understood. After a moment, they embraced each other, feeling the warmth and a rare sense of peace and happiness fill their hearts. Let's go. Let these 2 little ones have a good chat. Gu Yuan cleared his throat a few times and led the Supreme Heavenly Emperor and Serpent Scorpion Xun'er toward the top of the mountain, finding a peaceful pond to rest and heal their injuries while restoring their lost Do Qi. Xiao Yan Gij is so unfair. After all this time, he only comes to find me now. Has he forgotten about me? Or is there some other wildflower out there that smells better? A few minutes later, Xun'er gently broke free from Xiao Yan's strong embrace, turned her back with a look of grievance, and spoke. However, there was a rare golden glow on her forehead. Clearly, when they embraced, she had sensed something through the reincarnation mark, though it was too faint for her to fully comprehend. Now, she pretended to be angry. Not at all. I noticed that the fire you absorbed from the Gu clan's inheritance was the 9 mystical vermilion flame, ranked 8th on the sacred flame list. This flame is extraordinary and has a strong attraction for holy sea powerhouses, but it has some strange characteristics. The thing on your forehead, is it the reincarnation mark? Xiaoyan quickly stood up and reached out to hold Xun'er's slim waist. Xiaoyan hurriedly changed the subject. Although Xun'er would eventually find out about Mu Yingying, he wanted to delay it for now. After all, the Gu clan was facing a crisis, and there was no time to deal with other matters. Besides, Xun'er and he were childhood friends. No matter how she looked, if she really got angry, Xiaoyan might not even get a chance to sleep in the woodshed. It is the reincarnation mark of the 9 mystical flame master. An ancient clan leader of the Gu clan and the 9 mystical flame master were once close friends. However, to absorb such sacred flame, one must rely on the Golden Emperor's sky-burning flame as a precursor. Otherwise, it's impossible to get even close. Xun'er's beautiful eyes flickered, her figure standing like a fairy, radiating an ethereal charm. Clearly, after absorbing the 9 mystical vermilion flame, her aura had grown even more delicate and beautiful. Your strength now seems a little? After another tender exchange, Xiaoyan noticed something was off and spoke up, his voice tentative. It's only a bit stronger than Brother Xiaoyan's, and it all relies on the power left behind by the ancestors of the Gu clan. It's nothing compared to Brother Xiaoyan's. Looking at Xiaoyan as he asked, Xun'er reluctantly replied, her small tiger teeth lightly grinding, her tone nonchalant. To avoid making Xiaoyan unhappy, she even gently reassured him at the end. You're already at 8-star Docian? Hearing Xun'er's words, Xiaoyan couldn't help but feel a surge of surprise. He quickly suppressed his shock and continued speaking. Xun'er nodded slightly, her long, flowing hair exuding an exotic charm. Her large, spirited eyes twinkled as she smiled playfully at Xiaoyan. Upon hearing this, Xiaoyan couldn't help but feel an overwhelming urge to bash his head against a wall. He had worked so hard to reach the late 7-star Docian, and yet Xun'er, relying solely on the countless inheritances of the Gu clan, had directly surpassed him in power. Even the ranking and might of the sacred flame were far beyond his own. His first wife, Xun'er, was so formidable, and his second wife, Kailin, possessed the power of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python. Once she fully mastered the 10-colored flame, she would be at least at the reincarnation stage. As for his youngest wife, though her power was weak, she inherited his flame mantra and had that unyielding spirit. In the future, she too might become a huge problem for him. For a moment, Xiaoyan felt a dizzying sensation. It seemed these 3 beautiful women were far from mere ornaments. They were more like roses with thorns. When beauty and strength came together in a woman, if he didn't keep improving his own power, his position as the head of the household, even his future happiness, could be in jeopardy. All right, let's leave the rest for later, after the Gu clan solves their crisis. After another affectionate exchange, Xiaoyan became serious. The outside world was nearly overrun by the extraterritorial evil clan, and he had no time for anything else now. The immediate priority was to deal with the catastrophe within the Gu clan. There were only 3 of them here, but outside, the extraterritorial evil clan had countless powerful experts, with the top-tier ones beyond count. Xiaoyan felt a deep sense of worry. I've been in the Holy Land for decades, and during that time, I've been absorbing the power left by the ancestors of the Gu clan. I really don't know what's going on outside, Xun'er shook her head. However, with her 8-star Do Xian strength, coupled with the sacred flame's aura, she vaguely sensed an unpleasant presence, though she couldn't quite pinpoint it. You really don't know? Xiaoyan sighed and shook his head, clearly troubled. It seemed the situation had worsened. With Xun'er's 8-star Do Xian strength and the sacred flame, she was more than capable of dealing with ordinary late-stage 8-star Do Xian members of the extraterritorial evil clan. But Xiaoyan's main concern was the overwhelming number of powerful elites in the extraterritorial evil clan. If they faced such a force, it would be incredibly difficult. Brother Xiaoyan, what's happening outside? Xun'er softly asked, gently holding Xiaoyan's large hand, offering comfort. The Gu clan, as well as the entire Gu realm, including places where core members of the Gu clan reside, such as the Gu prison, have been completely taken over by the extraterritorial evil clan. They're capturing the people of the Gu clan, extracting their souls, controlling their bodies, and from the news I've received, they seem to be creating kings. Xiao spoke in a calm voice, though it was filled with rare seriousness. This horrifying scenario was beyond terrifying. Even with his 5 sacred flames, he was struggling to deal with it. Even using demonic power didn't guarantee victory. What? Hearing Xiao words, Xun'er's delicate body trembled violently, a wave of shock sweeping over her. There was a faint hint of anger in her eyes. Though the Gu clan hadn't shown her much favor, and even before entering the Holy Land, many of the clan's elders had scolded her. She had absorbed the powers of the Gu clan's ancestors and was now responsible for protecting the Gu clan's territory. It had become an undeniable duty to enter the Holy Land. I risked stepping into the Gu prison and saved both Father Gu Yuan and your master, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. I also captured one of the 3 major leaders guarding the Gu prison, Serpent Scorpion Xun'er. But the other clansmen outside are powerless. Xiao shook his head again. I have a way to make that so-called Serpent Scorpion Xun'er spill all the information she knows. After we steal their intel, the Gu clan will personally reclaim it. After a moment, Xun'er understood the importance of the matter. She smiled quietly, her 2 small dimples appearing, which made her look exceptionally charming. Her slender jade-like hand grasped Xiao leading him downward. However, there was a calm aura radiating from her delicate figure. Fortunately, after all her hard work, she could finally slightly get ahead of Xiao this time and lend him a helping hand. However, Xun'er knew that although Xiao cultivation was only at the 7-star Doxian level, his true combat strength would not be much weaker than hers. Father, Master. A few minutes later, Xun'er and Xiao arrived at the training area where the others were meditating. Xun'er greeted them politely. As long as you're fine, Gu Yuan and the Supreme Heavenly Emperor exchanged glances and said nothing further. Father, Master, please focus on recovering your Do Qi. A fierce battle is probably waiting for us. Xun'er smiled. Yes, we'll need quite some time to recover our strength. The rest of the interrogation is up to you. Gu Yuan and the Supreme Heavenly Emperor said, their eyes dimming as they gently closed them, focusing on recovering their Do Qi. This person is one of the 3 great overlords guarding the ancient prison. At the peak of the 8-star Doxian, Serpent Scorpion Xun'er. I was fortunate enough to capture her. Initially, I planned to extract information about the entire Gu realm, but I never expected that her sacred flame, soul power, and other techniques would make it impossible to truly harm her. Xiao said, looking at the fierce and terrifying Serpent Scorpion Xun'er before him. Peak 8-star Doxian, Serpent Scorpion Xun'er. That is indeed troublesome, but leave it to me. Xun'er gave a gentle smile, and her jade-like hand raised. A golden crow-shaped flame appeared, flowing out from within her body, spreading widely. Boom! At that moment, Xiao insides trembled violently. Clearly, this higher-ranked sacred flame made even him wary. You little wench. Seeing Xun'er right before her, with the golden crow-shaped flame in her palm, Serpent Scorpion Xun'er roared. A chilling, killing intent spread, but the terrifying force was instantly devoured by the golden crow flame as it reached Xun'er's side. You are the one who repeatedly tried to explore the Holy Land and enter to obtain the sacred flame, a wicked being. The golden crow-shaped sacred flame gently roasted, shattering the surrounding space of Serpent Scorpion Xun'er. A heavy divine aura emanated. So what if I am? Kill me or skin me, do as you wish. Serpent Scorpion Xun'er responded impatiently. The extraterritorial evil clan had indeed ruled the entire Gu realm. However, the 3 great overlords of the ancient prison and those controlling the core areas of the Gu realm didn't seem to be on the same side. To completely conquer those people, over the years, Serpent Scorpion Xun'er had often attempted to enter the Holy Land, seal the sacred flame, and steal countless treasures. These actions had been detected by Xun'er. Tell me everything you know. After a brief pause, Xun'er gave Serpent Scorpion Xun'er no chance to resist. 9 golden crows quietly crouched above her head, emanating an ancient and overwhelming aura, like a king who disdainfully looked down on the world, unyielding and domineering. That aura was unmatched, shaking Serpent Scorpion Xun'er to the core. She could not resist and could only quietly submit. As a result, Fragments of memories and intel began flowing into Xun'er's mind, though such vast information would take considerable time to digest. It seems there are indeed some things that are not widely known. Looking at Xun'er in this state, Xiao let out a heavy sigh of relief. Once the intel was obtained, they could formulate their next steps. Their numbers were few, and they had to proceed cautiously, or this time, they might end up with no place to bury their bodies. This won't do. Now that the power of the four-color sacred flame amber rock soul flame has weakened considerably, it's better to use this time to completely merge the undying flame as well. With the new flame from the five-color sacred flame, combined with the power of the battle array master, perhaps this time, the Gu clan's calamity will have a chance of resolution. You little girl, your strength was perfectly fine before, but now you're terrifying. Don't worry, I won't lose. Xiao laughed heartily. Inside his body, the amber-colored flame and the undying flame began to merge, and even his spiritual energy was gradually increasing. At that moment, within the Holy Land, Xiao, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, and Gu Yuan were focused on recovering their strength, while Xun'er delved into Serpent Scorpion Xun'er's mind to extract the memories and intel. Da-da-da. Meanwhile, within the ancient prison, the air was filled with agonizing, soul-shattering low growls, like tortured beasts on the verge of madness. These frenzied, heartbreaking roars echoed throughout the spiral stairwell of the first level of the ancient prison, creating an atmosphere of eerie, terrifying horror. Just hearing them was enough to send a chill down one's spine. Strange, why can't I sense Xiao aura anymore? Lu Hao, hidden by the protective cover of his celestial artifact, had avoided much of the search from the extraterritorial evil clan. However, now when he tried to sense Xiao presence again, the aura was faint, almost as if Xiao had already left, gone from this place. Damn it! The interference from the Wind Evil Lord wasted too much of my time. This is bad, Lu Hao muttered with a sigh. If he had followed Xiao into the Holy Land, as long as he found Gu Xun'er, not only would the 9 mystical vermilion flame be his, but even Gu Xun'er herself would become his possession. Lu Hao wasn't foolish. He cared only for the sacred flame within Gu Xun'er and her graceful figure. Every time he saw her, her lithe body made him long for more, so he was willing to do anything to claim her. Moreover, the 9 mystical vermilion flame could help resolve the backlash from the battle soul's killing aura, so it was a 2-in-1 deal. Thus, obtaining Gu Xun'er became an absolute necessity. In this ancient prison, there are many members of the extraterritorial evil clan, and at the very bottom, there's an overwhelming, sinister energy. Perhaps some invincible evil demon is causing trouble here again. Since I've lost track of Xiao, if I eliminate these evil demons here, I might earn the favor of the 3 red-robed cardinals. At that point, all opposition within the Holy See will vanish, and the world will be mine to command. Moreover, the battle soul enjoys bloodshed. This place is full of extraterritorial evil clan members. Killing them will help awaken the battle soul, reducing the backlash I suffer. It's perfect. A crazy thought slowly began to form in Lu Hao's mind, and without hesitation, he made his way toward the bottom of the Sanluo Hell, where his true goal awaited. As the child of light, Lu Hao's power was far superior to that of ordinary Holy See experts. Combined with the rare battle soul and the fact that he had been pampered as a flower in a greenhouse, he felt almost invincible. However, with the power of the battle soul and the divine mark of the child of light, Lu Hao was already in an unassailable position, unless true reincarnation occurred. In the Sanluo Hell below, inside the evil castle, the massive structure stood upon a blood-soaked land, surrounded by countless eerie white bones and crimson miasma. Inside the castle, there were 8 enormous demonic statues arranged in a very mysterious and sinister formation. At the center of these statues was a small demonic idol, about an inch tall, surrounded by eerie blood-red markings and countless powerful forces infusing it, making it appear exceptionally strange. Strange. Why do the auras of the Wind Evil Lord and Serpent Scorpion Xun'er surpass my senses? Are they torturing those humans for fun in their domain? A shadow draped in black robes murmured from a blood-red stone seat in the center of the castle. His voice was filled with an ominous and chilling energy. Ryup. Moments later, from beneath the feet of the 8 giant statues, blood-red rivers began to pulse, and waves of intensely evil energy flowed out, merging into the small demonic idol at the center. As a result, the tiny idol began to exude a powerful presence, as if it were a demonic infant, its body of green stone gaining an eerie semblance of human vitality, making its aura incredibly strong. In the extraterritorial evil clan, the birth of a king level being required the nourishment of countless vital energy and bloody power. Their strength needed to be at least 8-star Dosien, and in rare cases, an 8-star Dosien at the initial stage could ascend to king level. However, beings like Scorpion Xun'er, despite reaching the late stage of 8-star Dosien, lacked the opportunity to attain such a rank. In the extraterritorial evil clan, strength wasn't the only important factor. Rank and bloodline were more crucial. Even an early-stage 8-star Dosien at the king level could easily overpower a late-stage 8-star Dosien, like Scorpion Xun'er, due to the overwhelming pressure of rank and bloodline. Once someone entered the king level, they would possess at least one overwhelmingly powerful evil artifact, making them nearly invincible. Russell, soon, you will be born, and when you do, the entire Gu clan will be shaken by your arrival. A king-level expert, even when faced with the combined strength of the two of us at the royal level, can only fall in despair. After all, things like evil artifacts are more abundant than you'd think, the blood-red figure said with a sinister laugh, his voice filled with a madness that couldn't be contained, his greedy tone now completely unchecked. Poof! As if influenced by this person's aura, the small demon statue at the center of the 8 magic statues trembled slightly. To everyone's shock, the small demon statue began slowly morphing into a human baby. Its reddened skin, large watery eyes, and a head of black, evil hair made the whole demonic baby seem incredibly eerie. But the power within it was undeniable, strong enough to send chills down one's spine. That kind of power, if absorbed completely, could potentially create a being as powerful as a late-stage 8-star Dosien, or even someone even stronger. Ha ha ha. Found you at last, huh? You really made it easy for me. As the Blood King sat back on his crimson throne, a cold, rebellious snort echoed through the entire evil castle, spreading like a thunderclap. Oh, what is this? Upon hearing the sound, the Blood King leaned back slightly on his throne, a wicked smile curling at the corners of his mouth. He extended his long hands from beneath his black robe, resting his chin on his palm, his eyes piercing through the many crimson light rays as he gazed at the castle gates. Bang! With a single powerful kick, the massive door of the evil castle flew open. A myriad of radiant light engulfed the figure of Lu Hao, whose entire body blazed like a sun, almost blinding to behold. At the very moment Lu Hao appeared, within the Sunluo hell below, countless evil energies began to stir, retreating in every direction. The 8 towering magic statues within the evil castle emitted faint tremors in response. The aura and power emanating from Lu Hao were threatening, enough to send a shiver through their ranks. Light power? The Holy Sea? At that moment, seeing Lu Hao standing confidently at the gates with a proud air, the Blood King's voice was deep and magnetic. Blood light surged from him, spreading like a hellish inferno, the blinding evil waves turning into circles of dark energy that enveloped the entire castle. A chilling murderous intent and a hint of madness emanated from the Blood King, hidden beneath his black robe. Humph! I don't know who gave you the courage to be so fearless, barging into my Sunluo hell all alone. I must say, the younger generation of the Holy See has really become hopelessly foolish. The figure in the black robe atop the blood-red throne muttered as he slowly rose, his sinister blood-red light shooting into the sky, and an unmatched, overwhelming wave of power swept outward. Ha ha ha. Lu Hao, upon hearing this, unleashed a surge of blazing light power that melted the massive gates of the evil castle. With steady steps, he moved toward the Blood King. Since you insist on courting death, then die. As the Blood King gazed at Lu Hao, his laughter rang out. He removed his black robe, revealing an eerie smile and a human form wrapped in countless blood-red markings, coming into view before Lu Hao. Blood King Imo, a Black King tier powerhouse from the extraterritorial evil clan, at the peak of 8-star Do Xian, wielding an evil artifact. His strength was already on par with those who touched upon the cycle of reincarnation. Without any hesitation, Blood King Imo unleashed a terrifying torrent of blood-red light from his body, sharp like blades, striking with the speed of lightning toward Lu Hao. The force behind the attack was so ferocious that even a late-stage 8-star Do Xian would likely end up defeated in despair. Crack! The seemingly ordinary strike from Blood King Imo shattered the light armor that had been covering Lu Hao's body in an instant. The sound of breaking shards and vibrations echoed in Lu Hao's mind. Late 8-star Do Xian? Black King tier? At that moment, Lu Hao couldn't help but be shocked, his mind thrown into turmoil. Oh! The attack failed to land, and Blood King Imo retreated back to his crimson throne. That last strike had been immensely powerful. He had enough confidence to wipe out Lu Hao, yet most of his power had been deflected by Lu Hao's light armor. Even more troubling, the shattered light armor was releasing faint holy energy that seemed to corrode and devour his bloodthirsty evil energy, making him grow somewhat cautious. In the past, Blood King Imo had clashed with angels from the Holy See, but the light energy emanating from those angels had been nowhere near as powerful as the one from the man before him. The light radiating from Lu Hao was far stronger than anything he had ever encountered. I have no choice. I'll have to use my true power. After a deep breath, Lu Hao furrowed his brow. He knew this situation was beyond his control, and if he didn't act now, he might have no chance at all. Light. Angel wings. A high-pitched, sacred tone rang out, as if a humble servant was chanting a prayer. The voice reverberated throughout the entire castle. Angel wings? How is this possible? At that moment, the Blood King Mo's pupils constricted with a trace of murderous bloodlust. At the same time, the light armor on Lu Hao's body instantly shattered, replaced by a burst of blazing, warm light, imbued with sacred power. The light from Baiji formed a flame that quietly attached itself to Lu Hao's back, materializing into a massive energy wing that stretched over 1,000 feet in size, piercing through the castle and extending into the boundless hell of Xun'er outside. Behind him, a pair of wings slowly took shape, covered in countless bright patterns that enveloped his body, protecting him from the corrosive and destructive blood-evil aura in this place. Good, good, good. What an angel! Looking at this, I've never seen such angelic wings before. This person must hold a high position within the Holy See. This time, let your Holy See understand the consequences of offending our extraterritorial evil clan. Rustle, rustle. The cold, murderous aura slowly spread out, and eerie, sinister laughter echoed within the evil castle. However, Blood King Imo did not rush to act. As an 8-star Do Xian perfected, he had absolute confidence in his power. But he was also curious to see why the angel wings of this person in front of him were so mysterious. Lu Hao's angelic wings gradually took form, but on each feather, there was a delicate, beautiful silhouette etched into the light, like the spirit of an ancient angel, extraordinarily powerful. Whoosh! The dazzling breath of light illuminated the entire boundless hell, causing countless weak, evil shadows to instantly vanish, and even the 8 enormous demon statues and the demonic infant trembled in subtle fear. Blood King Imo, in the name of the angels of the Holy See, I hereby announce. Your life will be personally taken by me, and your sins will be judged by the Holy See. Give up and surrender. After everything was set in motion, Lu Hao soared into the air, his wings sweeping up and tearing the roof of the castle off. His angelic wings fluttered behind him, standing tall in the sky like a blazing sun, radiating endless brilliance. That posture was as unattainable as the highest enforcers of the law on earth, divine and sacred. So it's true. I've encountered the Child of Light, a rare sight in the Holy See, even after millennia. Ha ha ha. Ignoring Lu Hao's mutterings, Blood King Mo's body trembled as he rose into the air, his blood-red eyes flashing with an unparalleled, fiery madness. Child of Light. Such a simple name. Yet it symbolized the pinnacle of light-based power in the holy sea of the great thousand worlds. Perhaps the Child of Light had not fully grown yet, but every time one appeared in the past, it had brought unprecedented destruction to their extraterritorial evil clan. Thus, the evil clan's hatred for the Child of Light had reached the point of wanting to peel their skin and drink their blood. Since you've delivered yourself to me, I'll take full advantage of it. I'm curious to see for myself the terrifying power of the so-called Child of Light. Blood King Imo grinned darkly, and the ground and sky of the boundless hell seemed to wriggle as a bloodthirsty, evil aura spread uncontrollably like a hellish furnace. The boiling blood sea surged, and each wave carried an immense sense of oppression, shaking the entire ancient prison. Chains of light. A sharp, cold grunt rang out, and a milky white chain flew out from Lu Hao's chest. He quickly raised his hand, launching the chain directly at Blood King Imo with overwhelming force and precision. The angle was clever, and the power was immense, causing even Blood King Imo to flinch slightly. Condense. Seeing the chain of light, imbued with both light breath and the special power of the Child of Light, Blood King Imo couldn't help but smile. Even though Lu Hao had summoned his angelic wings, the power disparity between the two was still unbridgeable. From the very beginning, this battle had been doomed to a certain outcome. Whoosh! With a laugh, the blood-colored throne surrounding Blood King Imo blazed with sinister light. A massive wave of bloody and rancid aura swelled uncontrollably, seemingly attempting to suppress Lu Hao. Thud! With a single sound, the chain of light was effortlessly swallowed by the blood-colored throne without causing any harm. Damn, he's really strong. Lu Hao's vigilance immediately heightened upon seeing this. Clearly, he had underestimated the power of an 8-star Do Xian perfected. The battle entered a deadlock. Boom! In the first level of the ancient prison, the battle between Lu Hao and Blood King Imo was intense and evenly matched. Elsewhere, in the Holy Land, what's going on? Soon, Xun'er, Gu Yuan, and the Supreme Heavenly Emperor all woke up one after another. It seems that the four of them had assigned roles, with Xiao Yin being the first to awaken. Now, Xiao Yin had successfully fused 5 types of sacred flames, which were still referred to as Amber Rock Soul Flame. However, his strength had not broken through to the late 7-star Do Xian stage, only reaching the peak of it, still a step away from perfection. But the aura around Xiao Yin was already vastly different from before. That's the aura of Lu Hao. Based on this direction, it should be in the first layer of the ancient prison, the Sanluo Hell. Could it be that this guy directly challenged one of the kings of the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiao Yin nodded slightly and said, "The serpent scorpion Xun'er has been completely destroyed in my hands. According to the information I've gathered, the Gu clan is now ruled by 2 king-tier experts from the extraterritorial evil clan. They each control the ancient prison and the core of the Gu clan. The king who rules the ancient prison is called Blood King Imo. He is a perfect 8-star Do Xian, wielding an evil artifact. His combat strength is on par with the strongest beings who have touched reincarnation. He is using the ancient prison to create a new generation of king-tier demon infants, intending to stir up trouble in the entire Doyun continent. As for the core of the Gu clan, Xun'er's intelligence was limited. She only knew that the 2 kings seemed to be mortal enemies, extremely hostile toward each other. They both want to devour the other, but neither has the strength to do so. Xun'er purified the last trace of Xun'er's aura and then spoke, her voice tinged with an unusual heaviness. Are there any other 8-star Do Xian level experts in the ancient prison besides the 3 major figures? The Supreme Heavenly Emperor seemed to recall something and asked involuntarily. There are a few others, but we can handle them, Xiao Yin replied with a smile. Since that's the case, let's head to the ancient prison. Only by liberating it can we have the strength to explore the core of the Gu clan. By the way, Lu Hao may have a narrow-minded and reclusive nature, but as the Child of Light, we must help him when necessary. The Supreme Heavenly Emperor, concerned that Xun'er might have some resistance toward Lu Hao, hurriedly added, "Let's see how it goes." Xun'er raised her eyebrows, then took Xiao Yan's arm, preparing to head toward the ancient prison. Sigh, I hope nothing goes wrong this time. As soon as the words left his mouth, the four of them quietly made their way to the ancient prison. In contrast, the core of the Gu clan remained eerily silent, with no signs of movement. Shwalala. Meanwhile, within the Sunluo hell of the ancient prison, countless scarlet bloodlights, each hundreds of meters long, struck like bolts of lightning, spreading across the entire hell, giving off an intensely evil and demonic aura. High above in the sky, Lu Hao's body trembled slightly, and even the angelic wings marked with divine soul images showed traces of damage. It was clear that in their previous battle, he had been at a disadvantage. Had it not been for the light attribute's natural suppression of the extraterritorial evil clan's dark powers, his situation would have been much worse. In the end, it had been too forced. Though Lu Hao was the child of light, his personal strength was too weak. At only the 7-star Do Xian level, even with the angel's wings, his strength barely matched that of a typical 8-star. Facing the full power of an 8-star Do Xian Black King tier expert was naturally difficult, but Lu Hao, eager to achieve something, had pushed himself forward regardless. Su Su. The Holy Sea's child of light is nothing special. A haughty, arrogant cold snort, like the sound of thunder, echoed throughout the hell. Blood King Mo's figure suddenly expanded, and a giant blood shadow of 1,000 meters appeared. Sacrifice the evil artifact. In corpse blood shackles. Seeing the glow of the angel's wings dim slightly on Lu Hao, Blood King Mo didn't give him any chance to catch his breath. With a roar, a blood-red shackles appeared on the 1,000-meter blood shadow surrounding him, forming an evil chain that tore through the heavens and the earth. Gulu. This is the evil artifact ranked 25th among the extraterritorial evil clan's artifacts, the In Corpse Blood Shackles. It's said that this thing can bind an 8-star Do Xian expert, draining their Do Qi and soul completely. Watching the terrifying posture of Blood King Mo and gazing at the scarlet chains, Lu Hao felt an immense pressure. The oppressive feeling weighed heavily on him, making his breathing slow. Divine mark of the child of light. Angel soul image, descend. As the horrifying attack loomed, Lu Hao's body suddenly shook. Then, from the center of his forehead, a sacred, inviolable light pattern emerged, dancing like a glowing spirit of light. That was the source power of the child of light, one of his greatest symbols. With it, he had the power to annihilate the extraterritorial evil clan completely. Where there is light, there will be darkness. Light and darkness reside in the hearts of men. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At that moment, the void shattered. Countless milky beams of light enveloped the angel's wings, and the divine mark of the child of light on Lu Hao's forehead transformed into a tiny angelic soul shadow that danced gracefully in front of his chest. The angelic soul shadow resembled a young woman, her slender figure adorned with countless light divine markings. Each time she danced, the evil aura in the entire Sunluo hell diminished significantly. The power contained within her was enough to obliterate heaven and earth. This soul shadow came from the highest bloodline of the angel kingdom, an ethereal being filled with unparalleled divine light energy. Poof! As soon as Blood King Mo made his move, the evil blood chains surrounding his body began to tremble violently. The mournful wails of countless crimson spirits spread out, quickly forming into a massive bloodlock cage, attempting to completely bind and suppress Lu Hao here. If this evil artifact's influence reached his skin, Lu Hao would surely meet an untimely doom. Boom, boom, boom. The clash between the angelic soul shadow and the evil bloodlock triggered a huge upheaval in Sunluo hell. Countless lands and rocks shot up from the ground, and rare blood-colored storms spiraled outward from the center of the battle. Light and blood energy clashed in an instant, and a powerful suction force froze them both in place. Indeed, you're a tough one, but I won't let you grow any further. Since you dare to enter my evil prison alone, you're ready to embrace death. Evil explosion. A sinister voice rang out, and the entire battlefield trembled. The blood-red storm that had been raging suddenly contracted, and in the blink of an eye, it exploded with the force of a heart's burst. Boom, boom, boom. The chilling, bloody, murderous aura spread like a tidal wave through the air. Meanwhile, the angelic soul shadow, which had been at a stalemate with the blood-red evil chains, suddenly shuddered. Cracks began to appear on its form, growing more prominent with each passing moment. Thud. Lu Hao felt a sharp pain in his chest and coughed up a mouthful of blood. Scumbag! The angelic soul shadow, unable to hold out any longer against the spreading bloody storm, was completely engulfed. At that moment, a trace of fear flickered in Lu Hao's heart, and even the other soul within him slowly stirred, showing signs of awakening. That was the terrifying presence from the angel kingdom, beyond even the archangels, the soul of Lucifer, the angel of slaughter. It was the final trump card granted by the Child of Light's identity,